So, does everybody remember how last week I made a comment about how this season is, they could have called it the head cannon killer season or wrapping up loose ends of the season MLP? I figured out what they also could have called this season. They really could have called it the Royal Sisters Suck the season, because half of this episode was sister problems, and the other half of it was not even the main six, just mostly Rainbow Dash and Applejack, and even Rare, all of them just being like, yeah, we kind of don't need you, bruh.
Oh my God. I love the fact that the sisters, that they still have their relationship, that they bicker as sisters, like we saw in Slice of Life, and that they're actually relatable, but at the same time, it's like Rainbow Dash says in the beginning, they show up for this. Like,
yeah, what were they fighting? They were I got it right here on the tropes, but they were
fighting some sort of like
it was a
tree
giant
eater,
tree eating tortoise.
Yeah.
And so clearly the main six, they got it in the bag, right? But then the like, if I remember, like Fluttershy's lulling it to sleep or whatever, and their work, they got it, they have it under control, my guys. But then Celestia and Luna show up like that one chick from Aliens, where she's like, "Let's rock," and then she starts blasting xenomorphs.
Literally, this entire episode, they're both.
But in this case, like, instead of xenomorphs, it is a.
Well, I'll tell you this. The thing is, this whole episode, Celestia and Luna were like that one guy from World of Warcraft. Let's do this, Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, yes, Prince Luna and Celestia are both Leroy and Jenkins. So, the next bit of it showcases the princesses basically just kind of YOLOing about, helping out, and I use that term extremely loosely, the main six with fairly mundane stuff, especially for them. They show up guns blazing, like, I don't know, what's a political joke? America in a country with oil? I don't know. So the princesses are America and the main six are the oil. I don't know. I'm all in a political mood because of that VR footage that got leaked of Google literally admitting they control the media. Anyway, so basically, the sisters are like, and they kind of hinted at it in the premiere, but they followed up on it by saying, like, because the main six confront them about it, and they're like, dude, we can handle all this, and they're like, look, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. We really, truly, genuinely realize that not only is it fun, let me rephrase. Not only is it important that we defend Equestria, we like kicking creature ass, so we wanna help you guys. And Twilight's like, look, guys, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna send you off to Hoof Vice City or whatever, and you guys are gonna relax, bathe in the sun, do anything ever wanted to do in your life. And so Celestia and Luna are like, okay, cool, we'll piss off, but you know what? You guys have to stay back. And what was it, a swan festival?
Something like that. And I was thinking, my dad told me about this. There's some like hotel, I think in Las Vegas, that have these swans that come in and ride the elevators or something like that, and like they bathe in the front fountain or whatever. Have you heard of something like that?
Well, I just Googled Swans Las Vegas, and all I got were several linked to wildlife blogs, a place called Swan and Gardner, and a Swans concert set list, and links to My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic.
Well,
So who the hell knows?
something. Well, it's something like that. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
specifically Las Vegas, but there's a hotel where it's either swan or geese or some sort of foul bird like come in and they can ride the elevators and all that stuff. It's weird.
There's a golf
But
course by my house. Every once in a while, turkeys will just roll up there. Several times a year, we'll just see turkeys in my front yard just chilling.
there was actually a picture that I saw. It was like, shot my first turkey day, scared the crap out of everyone in the frozen food section. It was awesome.
So the sisters are traveling around. They get their own song. What? Hello. I didn't know I needed this.
Honestly, I loved it. It was really catchy.
You know what I like about it? It's because the one time we saw both of them sing or any of them sing, it was in Magical Mystery Cure. And I always kind of wish they had another song, because that song, it was awesome, but it was short. It was this big, grandiose, like royal acapella.
Oh, you're talking about You'll Play Your Part from Twilight Kingdom.
Yeah. And so, oh yeah, that is right. So what happens is this song, it's in. Did you guys ever see Goofy movie?
Yeah, but it's been a while.
Do you remember the song Goofy and Max sing? Something something on the open road or whatever. That's basically this song. And this
Could you say that it's a sequel to Road to Friendship from the same episode?
Yeah, but I don't think me and TWK need to think about the sisters, hey, chicka bump bump.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing about this song. Here's the thing about this episode. This was written by Gail Simone, wrote for Justice League, the cartoon, wrote for Batman Brave and the Bold, the cartoon, and oh yeah, wrote Wonder Woman, the comic, for like 10 years. And of course, the comic book writer has to have the episode with the most not even continuity, just callbacks. During the sisters song, we get shots of Discord, that cat dude from the movie, all these big characters.
Yeah, Capper.
I
didn't even see it until it was pointed out to me. I'm like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, you're right.
And what's funny about this to me is that I can never tell if these writers, right, when they do stuff like this, I can never tell how much of the callbacks or visual gags is on the script or is on DHX. But this one was so extensive, I genuinely feel like Gail Simone was like, okay, look, I know your lore, and we are gonna bust that shit out like it's ham on Christmas. And because they went ham just on this one song. So, and the song was good.
Maybe
by the way,
Gail Simone was trying. Maybe Gail Simone was trying to be like, "Hey, I can be good as Emma Larson too."
Thanks, Gay Larson. Okay, so
Gay Larson.
So basically, which is kind of, and this is, I think, a little subverted expectations, because I honestly thought it would be the other way around. Celestia, who's usually kind of the more, regal one. She's the one with the opulence and the big old stained glass fixtures of her. She wants to do all this gnarly, like, death-defying, X Division, X Games, Nitro Circus crap. Whereas Luna, the younger one who's spending more time in isolation and cooped up, she wants to, like, go to museums, appreciate art and the theater, and through the song and after it.
It's interesting that Celestia is the one who wants to do all this thrill seeking, like the zip line, which, by the way, I have been on a zip line and it is fun, and it's funny,
terrifying,
because the entire time that I'm waiting to go on the zip line, I'm thinking over and over in my head that scene from Cutie Mark Chronicles. Are you sure about this, Scootaloo? I've never heard of a floaty zip line before. Neither have I, but Spike told me it was awesome. But
oh god, I forgot about that. Spike ziplining on Rando. That's funny.
But here's what's even funnier. do you remember back in Once Upon a Zeppelin when Twilight Velvet, Twilight Sparkle's mother, is a thrill seeker as well? She went over Niagara Falls with
Oh
the
yeah.
fucking barrel. I'm like, wow, if Celestia had just opened up a little bit more, yeah, it makes sense why Twilight sees her as like a second mother.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they're doing all this stuff, and one particular grievance that I know people have that I sort of disagree with. Which, right? Like, an opinion the bronies have that I disagree with. Who would have thought? But there's a lot of folks that seem to take issue with the fact that, because spoiler alert, Luna gets annoyed that Celestia wants to rush her through all her crap, and Celestia gets annoyed that all of Luna's stuff is quote unquote boring, and they have a disagreement. And the contention comes from people being of the opinion, OMG, we finally get another Sisters episode, and it's one where they disagree and have an argument. And my disagreement comes with, do you people have siblings? That's what happens. That's what happens.
Even as an only child, I've seen that shit before.
Let me put this another way. Have you ever traveled with people, with friends and family alike? This happens. And like I don't know, they've never gone really into some certain specifics about their relationship, but I'm going to assume that reunited after 1,000 years or not, I highly doubt that Celestia and Luna had like some big intensive powwow and sorted out all their issues. I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that. So of course there be lingering problems. I mean Luna, well, I'll get to that later. But so I had no problem with them arguing because I have 3 older brothers and 1 older sister. Do you people know what it's like being the little sibling, especially when you're the introverted sibling? This was almost one of the most realistic things they portrayed on this cartoon show about magical horses. So they argue the best scene in this is the scene that probably went the most viral on YouTube. The best scene probably this season is when they're at the post office.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
This is one of those like single camera, single shot, long jokes that you see in like Disney movies, like in Big Hero 6 where Baymax has a air leaking and he's putting on the tape all slow and stuff. This is like that, but in a show. Luna's all stoked about the process.
Yeah, can I talk about this scene because this was amazing. So they're at the post office. And I love how each of the other ponies in the post office are just like, oh my gosh, it's the princesses. Should I move away? Should I take a picture? Should I get an autograph? Whatever. But they get up to the front and Derpy's behind the counter. And Luna gets a postcard, goes up to the front and says, 1 stamp, please. Puts the stamp on there. And just keeps looking expectantly at Celestia. And Celestia's like, what are you doing? And she's like, just wait for it. Just wait. And then one of the male ponies comes out from the back and hands Celestia her letter. And it's a postcard from Luna. And Celestia's just like, why did you do that? And Luna's just like, it's all about the process. And I'm thinking to myself, if that isn't every fucking area manager at Amazon, I swear to God, it's all about this is where this item goes to get processed, and this is where we pack them. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, please, for the love of God, just shut up and let us do our jobs.
Did you find that when you started working at Amazon, you were half as enchanted as Luna was by this post office?
I was wide-eyed for the first like day and a half, and then I'm just like, this is total hell.
I'm just saying, I want to hear more from Princess Luna about why post offices are the shit, because I don't think I've ever heard anyone voice act pure joy and glee than when Princess Luna, voiced by Tabitha Germain, talks about post processes. So skipping it, so back to Twilight real quick. So the swan thing is apparently hella important. And there's an entire swan party committee that the princess delegates everything to. And normally there's something that happens. Normally something like this would make me mad. But because the episode was structured as it did, I thought it was extremely hilarious. So who is it? It's like hoity-toity, his wife and somebody else. Isn't her name like Fifi LaFleur or something?
Yeah, Fleur de Lis is his trophy wife or whatever.
Yeah. And then someone else. They show up and they're like, "Oh, we're here for the planning committee," and in any other episode, Twilight and the main six would be like, "OMG, thanks for your help." And 5 of the 6 are like, "OMG, thanks for your help." Twilight fucking Sparkle, that this asshole looks these 3 in the eye and says, "No thanks, we got it." Excuse me.
Now,
and because all of her friends almost all but called her an idiot because she was so cocky, I was laughing so hard because it's like, this is so not out of character, but this is so backwards from what Twilight usually does that it's actually forward, and it was really, I laughed so hard at this scene.
Now, let me kind of break this down a little bit because I know I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. And I agree. It was funny as hell to see her cocky because her whole thing was, oh, Celestia and Luna must have done this on their own and blah, blah, blah. And she didn't know that they delegated. But here's the thing. It would make sense for Twilight, the Princess of Friendship, to not know about delegating to other individuals in a royal setting.
Yeah, because Hoity-Toity and what's her name, they're not their friends.
Exactly, because she's used to delegating to her friends. Great, whatever. That makes a whole lot of sense because she knows her friends really well. But with this, because she doesn't know that, and think about it, her own castle and everything like that, she doesn't have anyone to really delegate to outside of her friends. And she never really delegates for a royal duty anyway. So it makes sense that she would think, oh, Celestia and Luna did this all on their own. Because it would never cross her mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. There's some subtle you see, the episode is expecting you to understand these characters that well by now, so that you could come to the conclusion. I mean, it sounds like a long, complicated road to come to when 2 dudes are explaining it. But it's one of those things where at the time, your mind's already associating that with her, which is because the mind works fast, ergo, it's funny. So, that's why that works. So this is funny. So I was looking at TV tropes to see what to do next, and apparently, how Celestia and Luna are riding that roller coaster?
Which I'm like, wait, Wild Blue Yonder. I thought that was closed.
Yeah, it says that ride was supposed to be closed forever. Oh, and apparently Nurse Sweetheart is a unicorn in this episode when normally she was an earth pony.
Oh, that's right, because one of them got, wasn't it Luna that got like
Luna got hella sunburn.
Yeah, I'm just like, and she's getting like all this sun cream on her, and she's just like, Man, I did not realize you didn't know to put sunscreen up.
Also, TV Tropes is very appreciative of the fact that the swans in this episode were shown exactly how aggressive and almost dicky-ish how they are in actual life. Where in most kids shows, swans, they're always portrayed as, nice, friendly, graceful
Elegant,
creatures.
yeah, elegant and graceful.
Yeah. But this show's like, these guys are dicks.
Yeah.
Okay, so the big argument happens. Luna even does that thing that usually little siblings do in arguments where they bring up a thing you're really not supposed to for heat because they're going back and forth. Celestia's like, you're boring. Celestia's like, you're boring. Luna's like, you're mean. Celestia's like, you're uptight. And Luna's like, oh, I bet you probably didn't even want me to come back from the moon or something. And
Yeah.
Celestia didn't really react too hard, but I was like, oh, because Jonathan, 10 years ago. Anyway, so.
By the way, Goth Lestia?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm
and
just like,
and
holy
80s
shit.
and 80s Luna.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Goth Lestia, that's perfect. Because I could totally see Celestia being like a Slipknot groupie and going to a show with Luna.
Oh my god. Do you know what it's like to have a mental image of in your head of Celestia going, I push my my hooves, I guess, into my eyes.
I want to die, and I want
I got one more. I felt the friendship rise up in me. What would wait and bleed be? Be like wait and what was the wait and squee? And so I wait and the sound effect that plays. And so I wait and I gotta put over this episode real quick though. The sisters being into the things that they were make a lot of sense because as established in the sisters episode with Starlight, Celestia handles all the basically handles all the paperwork and the real life not gloomy, but boring regal stuff. So of course she would want to let the hair down and to have a bunch of fun. Whereas Luna, who, she's in dreams, and I don't care what world you do or don't live in, people are gonna have intense dreams. DWK has that one joke about Luna having to watch people, screw their own mom, and I'm like,
honestly, DWK is the only one who would be willing enough to go and say, look, she sees a lot of fucking wet dreams. Let's just say that.
I'm promising you a couple of them have been about her.
I know, and that's the weird part.
So it makes complete sense in the world that she would want to be like, bro, I want to be like Sora and just kick back on the beach munching on Baopu fruits. So they split.
And I gotta say, one thing that I love that, just visually is the fact that Celestia and Luna have ponytails, number one, and their tails are in a bun. And it's so fucking cute.
I feel like
especially Luna, because it looks like a galaxy.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? Remember the first Men in Black when Orion the cat is wearing the galaxy on his necklace?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking of the alien talking about the galaxy is on Orion's belt.
I just feel like,
which, by the way, who the fuck is giving a shit about Men in Black International? The only reason that's going to make any sort of money is that Chris Hemsworth is in it.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. Even the SJWs are kind of like, okay, yeah, this movie's whatever. This movie is, yeah. So The main six are going insane, by the way, because as said earlier, the Swans are a-holes, and I feel kind of bad for them because their plot never really got resolved. The ending just implied that Luna and Celestia, showed up and fixed everything. So they come across each other. Luna gets sunburned, which apparently animals in real life can get sunburned, but the way that the sunburn works, it looks like her fur, quote unquote, is her skin because of the way the coloration is.
Mhm.
And I felt so bad for her because it was her entire front and back, and her doctor had to do that thing where she lays down and they like squeeze the aloe or the aloe vera on her back, and I had that exact same thing happen to me in Hawaii when I went in 2005. That sucked. The worst sunburn of my life was in middle school, but that memory is literally too painful to talk about, so I will not. So what happens next is, they meet back each other. They're sorry, and I love these scenes with them doing that because they limited so much of their on-screen presence throughout the years that I can't get enough of them talking, because every time they talk, they reveal a little more, not only about themselves, but their past, and ergo the past of Equestria, which even halfway through the final season, they still find ways to expand and explore upon, which I'm just like, you don't have to do that, but I'm really glad you do, and it's great. They meet back up. They apologize. They're on a green. I almost said they're almost on a green hill, and I'm like, what, Sonic? Anyway, so they're on a hill. They're looking out at the sunset, and I may be wrong, but didn't both of them say that no? Either this was both of their favorite time of day, or their favorite time of day was Luna's was right when the sun comes up at dawn, and Celestia's was right at twilight when the sun's going down. I
Something
think.
like that.
And
The only thing it was reminding me of is that SpongeBob episode where it's like, I just love this time, just you, me, and this brick wall.
Oh god, where Squidward thinks he fed SpongeBob a pie bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs was so great in that episode.
And
you had to kill him.
One of my favorite, and one thing I want to mention before the end, before we do our scores, is that one scene where they're in the middle of their argument, and Luna literally goes face down, ass up, with burrs in her ass.
I felt so bad for Luna in this episode. I mean, I know people always talk about, there are three types of Luna fans. There's the ones that are like, oh my god, Luna's way cooler and way more relatable than Celestia. And then you have the people that are like, Luna's overrated. She's not nearly as cool as Celestia. And then there's the people that say that, but they're lying. They just want to be contrarians. So, but I genuinely feel for that character every time she's on screen. And of course, it's the edgelord character. I have a soft spot for edgelords. I unironically like edgelords. Reaper from Overwatch, Shadow the Hedgehog, Kylo Ren. They just do something for me. I don't know why. Anyway, so Twilight is literally losing her mind because they gave her an amulet to control Sun and Moon, but they didn't tell her how it worked at all.
Yeah.
And it breaks. And she's like crazy small pupils Twilight from like Lesson 0 again. And she's just going nuts. Before that, they finally realized, you know what? Let's have these people who seem to know what they're doing do this swan crap. And then the sisters fly back and fades to black, and that's the end of the episode. And I think to myself, I think about the last couple episodes. I think about this first half of season 9. I don't think any season has had as many great episodes, but also as many meh episodes. Because every banger this season is a complete and total banger. But every miss, it's a real miss.
Kind of reminds me of season 5 in a way. Because there were some really good bangers, but a lot of them where they were like, I don't know what to think, sort of thing.
I know season 4 was kind of like that too, where Season 4, in retrospect, seems a lot more slower paced than season 5, but I don't know. That's just me. So, if I had to give this episode a score, I would genuinely give it a 9 because I thought it was quite good. I thought it was quite good. And season 9. It's freaking great. It's pretty 50-50 so far, but we're only 50% through, so it's a 25-25 0-0. So we need to wait and see what's next. So what do you give it?
I give this a 9.5. It wasn't the greatest episode in the entire show, but yeah, I loved this episode. I loved the interactions of the characters and the way everything was set up and all that. And I know this is gonna hurt, but this is the final mid-season hiatus.
Why'd you tell me? Did you see that thing that I think it was Jim Miller posted on his blog or whatever?
Where DHS was shut down that week or whatever?
Was DHS shut down as a company?
No. Where they finally like wrapped production.
Wrapped up. Yeah. I mean, realistically, they had to have started on Gen 5 in the next movie already. So, but yeah.
Next week, I thought we were going to have a bit of a break, but we won't. We have something that is called Rainbow Road
Trip.
And it's bringing back the movie style, which I'm very excited for because I loved the movie style. And yeah, that's going to be
should we read the synopses real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
When Twilight Sparkle and her friends, I'm assuming Human Sparkle, Twilight Sparkle and her friends arrive in, get the name of this place, Hope Hollow. They find the town and all its residents completely devoid of color. Their dream vacation is starting to feel like a nightmare. The main six will have to solve the mystery behind this washed-out world if they hope to bring the rainbow back to the Rainbow Festival and color back to the lives of their new friends.
Wow. So thinking about it from that perspective, I have to wonder if it's something along the lines of like, how can I put this? And again, I love how I have an idea and it just completely goes away from me.
According to TV Tropes, this special was actually devised as a sequel to the movie from 2017, but the film's poor box office numbers made Hasbro rework it into a TV movie. I thought the movie had a pretty good return from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it could have been the marketing and that.
The marketing sucked so much. I couldn't believe they did that. Or didn't. Let me see here. It was a $6.5 million budget. They made $61 million. For a show that was designed for girls that attracted a slightly stronger than cult fan base, I think that's pretty good. I mean, granted, the normies and the people out of the loop didn't get it at all. But, I mean, and the movie wasn't that bad. I don't know. I think it was fine, but whatever.
Yeah. So, until next week, that's it from me, John.
And me, Snakeskin.
And we will talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.
Adios.